Welcome to 108 Gate. We are doing the Divine Feminine reading and looking to see where we can evolve. Uploading Divine Masculine reading now. It started off quite gentle and serene message, but then the same message kept intensifying. Then it intensified again, and it was going on and on. So the message got so strong that it was quite adamant that it's now. It's now that you've got to make this shift and change. It's now that you've got to be conscious of something. So if you haven't checked it out already, please do, because it's quite an interesting one. If you like, that is. So here we go. Divine Feminine Desire. I'm not going to assume yet. Let's see where it goes. Realization of desire. Realization of where you let desires disappear. You let desires kind of go away. Like for example, like you have a certain plan, and then life happens, and then this bit of life happens, and that bit of life happens, and before you know it, your plan has kind of gone over there. Gratitude of being having an opportunity now to bring it back to life, to bring it back to center. So now, having said that, the Divine Masculine reading makes even more sense of, like, if you let something go before, you really can't let it go now, because it's kind of like your last chance. It's your last opening. It's your last opportunity to have this particular thing right now in the way that you want it. So really putting your foot down, really putting your attention on what have I got to do next. Really being adamant and powerful and strong and courageous, and those difficult conversations that you're not having, you've got to start having those, or you should have had those by now. And why haven't you? Because every single time the door's shutting, the door's shutting, the door's shutting. So feeling different emotions coming in which are not mine. So it could be I'm picking up some of your energies, which I don't particularly want to be doing unless it's a Reiki thing. So let's just clear that. Right. Interesting. I said I'm picking up some of your energies, some of your emotions. The flow of emotions, you've got to really navigate this well. So as much as I'm kind of like, let's move on to the next thing, I want to stop and just bring some awareness to this of what it's actually coming through as. Your desire, your realization of what your desire is, of where you let it go in the past, and gratitude for having this opportunity again. This is like a alert to yourself, and it's the energy that's being transmitted from this now is basically like sending an alert out to those of people in the past, or possibly people now that don't want you to move on. And it's not that they're seeing it and feeling it and hearing it as in like so and so can't move on because then that means I'll get left behind. It's coming in as if it's translating as an energy of you're moving on. It's like that. Oh, I haven't heard from so in ages, or I haven't done this, I haven't done that, and they're kind of gonna hold on and grasp. It's not consciously, on most part, it's not consciously saying, well, so and so is moving on, I need to hold on to him tighter. It's subconsciously, there's certain things that are going to come up, certain sentences that have been said that you can sense and feel that you need to let go. You need to just focus elsewhere a bit while I'm just doing this. I can't be here holding your hand through A, B and C all the time. You need to start doing it yourself. So the emotions that are influencing you, the emotions that are coming in, could trigger guilt. It could trigger be manipulated again. It could trigger certain things. It's not that they're being manipulative or doing that. It's the times where you have been possibly manipulated or possibly guilt tripped or whatever it is, blackmail, whatever it is, emotional blackmail. Those kind of things are going to come up. Start getting your energy clearing stuff ready now if you're not already doing it, because you're going to need it, because this wave of energy is really powerful. Like I said in the masculine reading, we've got Mars, second degree of Capricorn, and you've got Pluto at the end of Capricorn. So Mars really is coming in, and it's like kind of like a matrix shift. Everything's just kind of shifting really fast. There's opportunity for quantum work here. There's opportunity for deep energy shifting and transmuting, if you choose to, and if you have the courage to, because a lot of the shifts that are required, you're literally going to be feeling like you're free falling at some point. I know some of you have already experienced this, and I know some of you have already experienced the level at which you're kind of losing certain grasp on certain things, but it's having that faith and trust that, like on the monkey bars, you let go of your hand of one bar and you have the trust and faith that that's the bar there. Swing yourself, maneuver yourself, have the momentum to make sure that you've got the grasp of the next bar. Is having that faith and trust that you've been along this path. You have some idea that you need to kind of throw your weight in a particular way, in a particular direction, moving your and then grasp the next bar. So the action is very much orientating towards the monkey bar kind of scenario. Just as an example of like you have to let go to get the next bar. The thing with this is, it's like if the monkey bars were floating in a emotional storm as well. So it's not exactly the most easiest way of moving from one bar to the next. It's not the perfect conditions, but it also is the perfect conditions, because this is where you're going to grasp onto, not grasp and hold and not let go. I mean, you're going to be reaching for, more appropriately, reaching for new comfort levels, reaching for new spaces within yourself, reaching for new ways of thinking, ways of seeing things, reaching out from where you've been stuck, from where you've been hiding, from where you've been hidden, from where you've been concealed and kind of blocked in and away from what you want. And then as you're doing this, a victory comes in. So from this point in the masculine reading, I was like, yay, everything's going well, everything's this, that and the other. And then all of a sudden it just took a turn, and it was like, right, this is great, but, and I mean but, and I don't like using but, because it's usually try and find the and, this and this and. This is a but. This is great, but something is trying to intercept this, something is trying to intervene in a way that's kind of designed and intended to pull you back or down. Or there were situations in the past where you were getting to a certain point of success, a certain point of pivoting in the correct direction for you, and then something came in and pulled you down. Recognizing those energies and making sure that those energies, 1, are cleared, 2, are disconnected from, 3, are kind of given a don't do that again essence, and then 4, just making sure that you're moving on from it decisively and with purpose, decisively and with strength and courage, making sure you're not looking back, making sure, and we had the death card in the masculine energy too. Amazing. So the feminine aspect of this is basically don't let yourself get emotionally entangled in it. Again, interesting conversation yesterday about how different people deal with different things, and it's like, if you're like unconditional love, unconditional positive regard, when you're looking at someone, and how do you look at people without that judgment? How do you look at people without the assuming of who they are or what they're doing? Go into that space with a really heighten your skill set for assessing, because there may be somebody that's on the surface they look all sweet and kind and whatever, but their intentions aren't great. So as we take ourselves, there's certain emotional responses, like so somebody looks a particular way and they trigger you into assuming that they're the same as so and so who you knew years ago, and all those kind of things, associating something with someone. This is positive and negative, because we can kind of draw that blank slate, bring that blank slate in of emotional attachment to certain things, emotional entanglement, emotional triggers, emotional assumptions that we bring in. So and so did this before. This is resembling the same thing, therefore it's going to happen the same. Releasing all of that and getting a tabula rasa kind of thing. I don't exactly know how I don't think. I'm going to tabula rasa thing, but basically having a blank slate, an actual blank slate with things, work towards having a blank slate. So what I mean by that is, even with a tabula rasa, whatever, if you think about you've got chalk on a slate, you've still got the residue or the energy of the things that were written or drawn on the slate before with the chalk. Just because it's wiped from the surface, it doesn't mean that slate doesn't hold that attention that was put on it. It doesn't mean that the slate doesn't hold that energy of what was written or drawn on it before. So really, really going in deep with that. I hope that makes a lot of sense, because it really is a deep dive. If that made sense and you get it, fantastic. And I really look forward, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe now, because we're going to be going more so into things like this. So here we go. What's going on with her? She's flip-flopping around. So 6 of Wands, Queen of Wands. So in the masculine reading, we've got the King of Wands. Interesting. The Moon, emotions are coming up. This is an opportunity to not have the same response. So when someone looking like someone, or resembling someone, or sounding like someone comes in, blank slate, let that person be and reveal themselves for who they are and what they are, not from assumption, not from getting triggered, not from the triggered space. And I'm using that word just so it's like an umbrella kind of like term. Not letting them push you into certain emotional response, not letting them push you into a particular kind of mode of thinking or responding or reacting or action or fear or threatened or anything like that. Literally go into neutral space and hold on to that neutral space, hold on to that neutral observation space. So observing more than assuming. So I did have a really interesting conversation about this yesterday, of how we can maneuver our perception and perspective of this, because sometimes like the response was, well, we're going to assume anyway, we're going to have, it's like, yes, but it's recognizing that assumption. This is literally saying here, recognizing that assumption and come back from it. Let that person speak for itself. Let that person's behavior speak for itself. Just because it happened in the past doesn't mean you assume this of this person coming in. This is really important skill to develop and strengthen, because as you are going into a new comfort zone, as you are going into new comfort spaces, new spaces of comfort, you may have people that have a tiny bit of a resemblance to someone of the past that may have been really daunting and overwhelming and stuff like that. But you don't want to write someone off, and you don't want to exclude someone or dismiss someone because of that tiny essence or tiny resemblance of something or someone in the past. This is where this really is honing in on getting the examples of how we can be moving ourselves now into a wider space, a wider way of thinking, a healthier way of thinking, and not being stuck in the space of when things weren't going correct, when people were trying to pull us down, intentionally or unintentionally, it doesn't matter. Moving self into that space of victory. And Queen of Wands being proactive in her emotional response, being proactive of, I don't quite understand this person, I don't quite understand what they want from me, I don't quite understand how we're meeting, why we're meeting. Then it just, sometimes we don't understand, we don't need to understand. It's just observing, observe what happens, observe where it's coming from, observe where it's feeling possibly triggered, and understanding, like, is this actually this person? Has this person done something to me to make me feel this way? Or is it a trigger or a remembering of something from the past? Identifying that and making sure that it's very, very clear to self, so that you don't hinder something that's coming up. You don't transfer emotions from that onto something else. You need to be open to receive the blessing. You need to be open to receive the prosperity and the goodness that's about to, like, literally just roll in. So receiving good. It's about being more aware of it, being more sensible. As things come up, we can kind of start relying more so on our inner intuition, our inner instinct of, like, right, this is clearly something from the past, if it is, and therefore that thing from the past is still lingering, it's still locked in somewhere, it's still hidden in my fears, it's still hidden in my apprehension, in my responses, in my trigger, whatever it is. So therefore releasing and letting go of it, is not a simple thing to do, because a lot of the emotions that are coming up, if you think of how deep it has to come up from the subconsciousness, it was in the subconsciousness for that long, hidden for a long time, for a reason. So now if you have that same response and you're feeling those responses coming in, not to take it too, it's going to be difficult to say not to take it too personally, but on some level not to take it personally. Observe it, recognize that your gratitude of you being in a safe space, you're not in possibly, hopefully you're not in a high intensity alert kind of situation. You're having certain triggers, you're having certain things come up, but if you look around and just feel the stillness of you being in a safer space, you are in awareness of this happening, you're in awareness of this is what I'm feeling, this is who's in front of me, or this is the situation in front of me, and this is my response. Taking it slow and steady, the realization as you step closer to your desire, as you step closer to that which you actually want and which is good for you, there may be more of this stuff coming up. And then you've got the Queen of Coins bringing in some more support around this victory. So it may be that you haven't stepped out your comfort zone because you wasn't sure if you'd be able to achieve it or not. Whatever it is, there's all these different fears, phobias, anxieties and stuff coming up that have built up a load of defences, that have built up a load of barriers, they've built up a load, literally like a fort around certain things. But now it's about dismantling and letting go of those barriers and those fears and things like that in a manner that allows you to have access to that's beyond the boundaries that you've created. Increasing healthy boundaries, including healthy boundaries, removing the unhealthy boundaries, the barriers, and then having in healthy boundaries. So these new people, this new person, this new situation, this new scenario that comes in, you have the appropriate barriers ready so that you don't go into a toxic space, you don't go into that dangerous space that you may have gone into before and now is leading to such a visceral reaction to certain things. This is a fantastic energy. Like if you're willing to do the work and you're willing to do the next steps of this is absolutely the kind of energy that you want to make that move forward, to make that catapult in your energy in yourself, momentum for increasing forward. So utilizing this energy of Mars in Capricorn, literally switching, shifting, transmuting, rearranging, managing, whatever it is. Like it really is going for the shifting of the things that Pluto has been trying to shift and move. It's like the design and that everything's been drawn up, this is the plan, this is whatever, and now Mars has been hired to kind of go in and now make it happen. Queen of Wands, make it happen. And like I said in the Divine Masculine, the reason that the wands, the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands now feels more relevant is because we do have still Chiron in Aries, and it's moving in a direction where it kind of and Mars is ruler of Aries, so it's kind of all of it is supporting there for all the wounds that have been healed, and the upgrade from that is being moved forward, and where all the shifts and changes are happening with Pluto through Capricorn, applying those shifts and changes so that not only your emotions are being healed, but the things that need to shift and change from that, and that can shift and change from that now, you usher that move in. You're doing this in a way that is suitable for you, that's appropriate for you. So the Divine Masculine really, really having to be in his physical awareness of, this is where I'm heading. No, I can't give you any more time that I don't have. No, I can't give you any more energy that I don't have. I gave you time and energy before, but that was because I was not being considerate of my pocket of time, my pocket of resources, my pot of this or that. So therefore I gave you what I didn't have to give. Now I can't do that until I rebuild what I've got, rebuild on what I've got to where it should have been before I gave away what I didn't have to give. So it's just really being compassionate with yourself. And like I said, there's going to be those ones that pop up and just like, I haven't seen you, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. You used to do this for me, you used to do that for me, now you don't. It's like, because I can't now. Simple as. King of Cups, fantastic. So Queen of Wands there, King of Cups coming in with that love, coming in with that awareness of love, coming in with knowing that unconditional positive regard. You just accept people for who they are. Let them reveal themselves to their true essence of what they are. Being aware constantly that you are having different emotions, shifting and changing. Some emotions come up, but not to transfer emotions and perceptions of other people onto new people just because they resemble something. Give them a chance to prove themselves worthy of you, not give them a chance to hurt you, or not give them a chance to violate or anything, or take it for granted. It's a matter of you really stepping up for yourself and showing up for yourself and making sure that you're doing the checks that you didn't do before, basically. And if your instinct or intuition is saying something's not correct here, listening to it. Before, you may have given benefit of the doubt. Now it's like, I'm going to check this first. When you're sure and you feel that everything's okay, then you can step forward. Hangman. So this is where the shifting and the changing of the perspective of things is. Not seeing it as a threat, but also not seeing it as an open gate to like just come and take me for granted or whatever, or take whatever you need. It's just having that discernment of like having those flexible boundaries. So and actually having the boundaries that are appropriate. So let's get one more card. Poochie having... There you go. See? So being more discerning, being more decisive, and having more awareness of clarity that comes in. So being ready to protect yourself, but not being defensive. Being ready to do new things, but not just throwing everything in all at once. It's not all the chips in at once. You're being strategic. You're being... you're planning things, you're being aware of, I don't know the full extent of this situation or this person right now, so I can put this in first. Let's bank on this, and if this shows a return, then I'll put some more in. If it doesn't show a return, I've only lost this, not that. So it's being strategic, being sensible, and working for your higher good. One card flew out, so I'm going to take it. Right, well, the 3 have come out, so we're going to put them down anyway. So basically, being careful who you're speaking to, making sure that you're not defensive, but you're being on point, you're being aware and articulating yourself in a particular way so that people understand, I have boundaries and these are my boundaries, don't cross them. Or you have them in yourself, that you exude that energy, that don't cross them. From this, you're going to see, where am I investing and where am I actually investing, and I've got a return on my investment. Then you step forward more. As you see that return on investment, you're going to get more clues as to now step forward here. Now step forward here. It's a new adventure. Enjoy this new adventure. It is emotional on some level, but it's rearranging our emotions, because some have to go, get a new perspective and get the clarity coming in and move forward with that clarity. So for now, enjoy the Divine Masculine reading too, because there was a lot in that as well. The January 2024 readings up, so you can benefit from those also. Until later, peace and love.